I got into farming because I wanted to bring about change. I wanted to do a job where I felt I was contributing to something greater than just getting a paycheck.
Well, I've been farming for 34 years, and I have always wanted to be a farmer. My grandmother was also, who was also very involved with the National Farmers Union. I would spend a lot of time on her family farm, and so there's a lot of influence there, and it just nurtured me. And I just happened to have the good fortune of meeting Ori, and we shared this farm for the last 34 years. And I married a farmer, I hate to say. That's the direct route.
Parents were immigrants. My father established a dairy farm. And so doing the daily chores was very much a part of growing up.
Well, like many farmers, I was born into it. And my family immigrated here in 1956 during the Hungarian Revolution. They left with the clothes on their back and worked extremely hard to build what we have today. You know, looking back, I had a privilege to work side by side with my grandparents and my sisters, and I look back at some of the fondest moments of my life.
And both myself and my spouse are from construction backgrounds, so it was a big switch, and it was one of those moments in your life you go, well, it's either now or never.
I grew up on a farm, and then went to university in Toronto, and then ended up living and working in Toronto for 30 years. When our children left, my wife and I decided that we wanted to move into the country. We did not think that we would be farming, but we ended up buying a 100-acre farm. And I got interested in farming again from memories of my childhood, and we formed a partnership with a local long-time organic farmer, and we started farming the land.
Family. Currently on my grandfather's farm, so.
I've been growing food and raising animals for approximately 10 years, so I began farming in my mid-20s. My entry to farming began with the love of food, so food preparation, food appreciation, and then tracing that back to food production and the quality of the food that I was consuming and preparing for myself and others. So getting involved in food meant trying to grow it myself, and I literally did not know how to grow anything in the field or raise animals prior to starting to work on a farm, and really discovered that I love it, and I actually have a bit of a knack for it. So I was really excited when I was getting successes growing a crop or raising chickens for eggs, that type of thing. So that's what really got me started.
You know, I grew up on a farm, and it wasn't a working business farm. It was a hobby farm. We had some livestock, and we had a small vegetable garden. So I think I really enjoyed growing up on the farm. And then I moved off it. I went to, I'm out of here. I was 17. I'm going to the big city. And I missed it a lot. So one reason I got into farming was the social justice aspect of it. I want to do a job where I feel like I'm contributing. I'm coming up with solutions to the problems that I feel are problems that face our society. But then the other side of it is I just really enjoy farming. I enjoy the work. I enjoy growing things. I find it rewarding.
Well, I grew up on a farm, and so my parents have always farmed. My dad has usually run the farm, so I really, I was brought up in that way. We probably started on the grain cart when I was 13 in terms of actual job, and during the summer and weekends. Yeah, and then I actually went away from the farm for a while. I went to university, did things, wanted to study in the arts, and learned a lot in that way, in capacities in university, like conflict resolutions, economics, a whole variety of stuff. And then more lately, I came back to the farm because it actually offered me surprisingly a steady income. Not all farms have that option, but I could find that in our farm situation.
I don't come from a farming background. I studied biology in university, specializing in ecology and conservation biology, and so that's what got me first learning about specifically the environmental impacts of agriculture. And then I also worked in the city in Toronto for a few years, and I was just having trouble envisioning what I could do with my life that would actually make me feel satisfied to live in a cubicle for 40 hours a week. And so I kind of just on a whim decided to try a farm internship. I didn't know if that's actually what I wanted to do with my life, but I probably wouldn't regret spending one summer learning how to grow my own food. And then, of course, I'm still doing it. I got addicted to it.
Our son has been farming with us for quite a few years now, and he's never once wavered from wanting to be part of the farm. And I think it's because we have such a rich, supportive community around us, and that he eats good food, and that comes from our land. And so, or I should say from the land. I don't think of it as our land. I think it's just a privilege that we can actually do what we do. And yeah, we're very thankful.